Lainey, do you know who this is? I just got your number today, so I thought I'd say hi. Is this Heather, my future mother-in-law? I'm so glad you reached out. Who are you calling mother-in-law? Oh, because you're Danny's mom. You're not married yet. Don't get too comfortable. My apologies. I'll be more careful. By the way, it was so nice to meet you and Luke today. Well, I wasn't happy at all. Excuse me? Think about it. The son I raised so carefully is being taken away by another woman. As a mother, there's nothing sadder. I understand how you feel, but you can't possibly understand my feelings. And as I've mentioned when we met, I still don't approve of your marriage. Yes, I remember. That's why I'm going to work hard to earn your approval. I hope I'll be able to convince you soon. It's going to be a waste of effort. Okay. It'll be a long time before I approve of this marriage. I need to make sure you're truly fit to be Danny's wife. Then I'll do my best to prove I'm worthy. All talk, I'm sure. That's not true. I'm expanding my cooking repertoire every day. Oh, please. Young people these days can barely hold a knife. I'm honestly worried that Danny won't get proper meals. No need to worry about that. Actually, I have a cooking license. A cooking license? You're not even working as a chef. No, but I thought it might be useful someday. So I studied for it on my own while working. I also have a solid understanding of nutrition, so I can prepare healthy meals for him every day. Showing off your qualifications like that is so unbecoming. A wife doesn't need that. You think so? I worked really hard to get those qualifications. A piece of paper doesn't mean anything. And cooking alone isn't enough. There's cleaning, laundry, and plenty of other things a housewife has to do. You can count on me for cleaning too. I'm also a certified professional organizer. Huh? Here we go again with another qualification. Are you some sort of qualification collector? I bet you just collect them without actually using them. I only get the ones I think are necessary. A qualification might just be a piece of paper, but the effort I put into earning it isn't wasted. I did it to make sure Danny and I could live comfortably and to be as helpful as possible. Listen, it's not enough to be useful to my son. What's important is how much you can serve your mother-in-law. Oh, is that normal? I mean, I'll do my best to be helpful to you too. Oh, really? Then, from now on, you'll do whatever I say. What? If you defy me even once, I won't approve of this marriage, understand? Let's see. How about we start with some yard work? Lately, I've had back pain and haven't been able to do anything, so it's turned into a jungle. So tomorrow, come over alone in the morning and mow the yard. Tomorrow? Well, you want to be helpful to me, right? But tomorrow is a bit sudden. I have work. So what? Just take a day off. That's crazy. Or are you saying that you can't use your vacation days for your future in-laws? Am I not worth taking a day off for? Taking a day off just for mowing is a bit... Well, you can't come to my house in the morning if you don't take the day off, right? But it's too sudden to request a day off. It'd inconvenience my colleagues. Who cares about them? You want to be Danny's wife, don't you? Then your priority should obviously be me. Geez. If you don't want to do it, then fine. I'll never approve of this marriage. If you're okay with that, then go ahead and don't take the day off. That's just unfair. You're trying to blackmail me. Welcome to the life of a daughter-in-law. Can Danny help me with it? Why would he need to be involved? It's his family home, and if we do it together, it'd be much faster to finish. Oh my! What a shameless girl you are! This is your job! Men tend to be better at it, though. Absolutely not! He's been afraid of bugs since he was a child. Stop being so selfish and do the job by yourself. So I expect you to handle the mowing tomorrow. After that, there's also the storage shed that needs organizing. And don't forget to bring your own gloves and lunch. Understood. Thank you, Lainey, for the job. The yard looks so much better now. I'm impressed you managed to cut the grass and clean up all by yourself. I've got to admit, I see you in a slightly better light now. Good to hear. I'm glad I could help. What's wrong? You should be happier. Isn't it nice to be praised by your future mother-in-law? I'm sorry, I'm just a bit tired. I had to take a sudden day off from work, and it ended up inconveniencing my colleagues. Honestly, I don't want to go through this again. Oh, don't be so dramatic. If you take a day off, someone else will just cover for you, right? But there's no one to replace a daughter-in-law. I'll let you know as soon as the grass starts growing back. There might not be a next time. What did you say? Oh, nothing. I'm exhausted, so I'm going to bed now. Good night. Hi, Lainey. It's been a while. Do you have a moment? Heather, what's this about? I'm wondering if you could come by and clean the yard for me. The grass has grown back again. Again? Come by tomorrow morning with your gloves. I have work tomorrow. I know that. I can't take any more vacation days. Why not? You managed to take one last time. Last time, I had to beg my boss. He understood the situation, but I'm not going to keep burdening my colleagues. Oh, please. The company won't fall apart just because you take a day off. We work as a team, so if one person is out, it means more work for everyone else. It's one thing if it's an emergency or something unavoidable, but taking time off for mowing is unheard of. It's an important task too. For you, maybe, but I want to use my vacation days for something more meaningful. How dare you? Are you saying you can't obey me? I told you if you don't prioritize me, there won't be any marriage. I don't need to mow to get married. Sorry for not updating you sooner, but I'm actually getting married soon. What? Danny didn't tell me anything about this. I won't let you. I haven't given my approval yet. I don't need your approval. So you'll have to manage the mowing on your own. And don't forget to buy your own gloves. Wait. How dare you plan a wedding behind my back? I absolutely won't allow this. Too bad. I'll marry who I want, when I want. Your approval isn't required. What did you say? Better start on that mowing before the grass gets too tall. Meanwhile, I'll be off getting married. You little... Fine. I know what I have to do then. If you insist on this marriage, you'll have to pay me a dowry. Dowry? Which country do you think you live in? Doesn't matter. You're taking my precious Danny away from me, so you'll need to pay up. Let's say 300 grand would do. Holy cow. $300,000 dowry? Are you seriously asking? Yes. I expect it in cash, all at once. It seems like your head is overrun with some seriously stubborn weeds, Heather. You might want to consider using some weed killer up there. Who do you think you're talking to? I suggest you learn about American culture and the wedding tradition. We can talk after you've done that. I don't care about that. Just give me the money already. You're the one who's forcing this marriage without my consent, so you owe me for my approval. You're insane. If you want to marry Danny, pay me 300 grand. If you can't pay, then I won't let you marry him. You really are letting those weeds take over your brain, aren't you? Do you seriously think I'm dating Danny? That ended a while ago. What? Demanding money from the ex-girlfriend? That's so outrageous, I don't even know how to respond. What? You broke up? But you just said you were getting married. I only said that because I didn't want you to keep asking me to do your chores. Now, if you'll excuse me. Wait! I've told you many times that if you don't do my chores, you won't be allowed to marry my son. I'm marrying someone else. Someone else? Yes. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Danny introduced you to me just 2 months ago. You were asking for my blessing to get married. So why are you marrying someone else now? Because you were fiercely opposed. Oh. You're the reason the engagement was called off, and now you're acting surprised? Should I get some weed killer for your head right away? Shut up! I won't allow you to marry someone else. Not when you're engaged to Danny. We broke up, of course. I haven't been informed. I just asked Danny, and he's shocked too. He is? So you've been cheating on him this whole time? If that's the case, then I'm demanding $300,000 in compensation for breaking off the engagement. Cheating? Absolutely not. I met my fiancé after I had already broken up with Danny. We were introduced by a mutual friend, and then a speedy engagement. But Danny says you haven't broken up. We did the day after I met you. I dumped him. I returned the spare key along with the dirty gloves from weeding. What? If he doesn't want to accept it, once I say it's over, that's the end of it. After all, we weren't married. Honestly, if we had, going through a divorce would have been a real hassle. I'm so glad I didn't marry him. Why did you leave him? You came to introduce yourself as his future wife? I told you the reason is you, Heather. I told him everything. Your tests, the mowing, you name it. He was completely put off by it. You told him everything? You're awful. That's you and Danny. Despite being disgusted by what you did, he had the nerve to say, "If you want to marry me, you'll have to convince her." It's supposed to be our marriage, but he expected me to handle everything on my own. That's absurd. When I mentioned the mowing, he just laughed and said he hated yard work, so he wanted me to keep doing it. I lost all love for a man who wouldn't stand up for me. But still, breaking up is a bit extreme. He seems to think you're just taking time off. He's devastated now that he heard you're marrying someone else. Oh, I'm not interested in a guy who thinks he can ghost me for 2 months after crying to keep me. Anyone would recognize that as a breakup. Well, I'm the 101st person and I don't recognize it. There it is again. I don't need your approval because I'm marrying someone else. And you're just the ex-boyfriend's mom now. But if this continues, my Danny will be left as someone who was dumped by his fiancée. Well, that's already happened. The engagement is off. I can't bear the shame of him being jilted. I can't even show my face outside. Well, that's perfect. Now you'll have all day to clean the yard. That's not what this is about. There's no way I'll allow this breakup. Call off this new marriage and come back to us. Yeah, right. I've already told all my relatives that Danny is engaged. I even bragged to the neighbors about the hard-working daughter-in-law I was getting. But now you guys are broken up? It's humiliating. You're already showing your ridiculousness. You drove me away and now expect me to come back for your convenience? How completely out of touch are you? What the heck? I'm telling you that I'll approve your marriage to Danny now. You should be thrilled to come back. I'll gladly decline, thanks. You'll regret this. I'm sure of it. Danny would be a much better husband than some guy you rushed to marry. You mean a husband who turns a blind eye to his mother's bullying? Marrying a man you've only known for 2 months is a mistake. Especially with someone you met on a blind date. It's just a desperate last resort for leftovers. Please go apologize to everyone who is married thanks to the blind dates. After breaking off the engagement, don't go marry another man. That hurts Danny's feelings. Rest assured, the man I'm marrying is far more wonderful than him. That's impossible. I won't allow you to marry anyone but him. Being with some loser you rushed to find will only make you miserable. Loser? Not at all. He's a lawyer who makes twice the salary Danny does. What the? Well, considering Danny is a part-time actor who dreams of becoming a movie star, it's not surprising my fiancé earns double his income. A lawyer? Are you really marrying such a respectable man? Yes, and he's neither arrogant nor boastful. He's humble and sincere. But Danny is going to be a big star someday. Breaking up with him is such a waste. If you marry him, a glamorous life is guaranteed. How is a part-time job glamorous? He might be a part-timer now, but he'll become famous and land roles in movies and TV shows. He's truly talented. I don't think a man who's okay with making his fiancée do the yard work is going to become a big star. He's just afraid of bugs, that's all. And even though he's a part-timer, he's living independently without relying on his parents. That's commendable. Independent? There seems to be a misunderstanding. What do you mean? He never asked me for money. That's because I was supporting him. Really? His part-time earnings weren't enough, so I was the one who was financially supporting him. I was prepared for a tough marriage, but I'm not prepared to endure harassment from my mother-in-law. Instead, I'll be happy with my successful lawyer husband. Danny's day will come for sure. I understand that you want to believe in him, but I think the chances of him becoming successful are quite low. Don't say that. I hope he finds a suitable wife soon. Someone who understands his part-time acting career and is willing to cover most of the living expenses and can withstand your bullying. A truly strong woman. Fine. I'll approve of you, Lainey, so please come back. You're crazy. You don't need to pay me anything. You have my blessing to marry Danny, so please come back. Marry him. Let's pretend the breakup never happened. A little too late for that. Did you suddenly realize that if you let me go, Danny might never find another partner? It's not that, but I just think it's better for two people who love each other to get married. Don't you think it's better to marry someone you've known for a long time than someone you just met on a blind date? I love my fiancé very much. And as for Danny, I don't love him anymore. No, that's impossible. Oh, by the way, my lawyer fiancé mentioned something interesting. Did you know that I could potentially sue you for compensation for emotional damage and breaking off the engagement? Are you going to come after me now? It's pretty much your fault that the engagement was called off anyway. Maybe I'll try to claim the money I spent supporting Danny. It could amount to tens of thousands. What? Maybe I should consult my fiancé about pursuing this lawsuit sooner rather than later. No, stop. I'll tell Danny to give up on you. Please, don't file for compensation. Then don't ever contact me again. I won't. No more calls or texts. I'll make sure Danny knows too. If your yard gets messy, you'll just have to handle it yourselves, okay? I understand. Well then, take care. I completely cut off contact with both Heather and Danny. So the rest of this is just what I've heard through the grapevine. Apparently, Danny gave up on becoming an actor and started looking for a job. However, since he had only worked odd jobs for so many years, no company would hire him as a full-time employee. As a result, he's still working part-time while relying on Heather for financial support. Her pension alone isn't enough to support both of them. So she's reportedly started working at a supermarket far from home to avoid being noticed by neighbors and relatives. As for me, I recently had a beautiful wedding with my lawyer fiancé, and we're now enjoying our newlywed life in our new home.